Now, the second rule we're going to look at is the cosine rule. Now, the cosine rule says a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. The cosine rule says a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. Now, in the cosine rule formula, a is the side that is opposite the inclusive angle. In the cosine rule formula, a is the side that is opposite the inclusive angle. B and C are the two sides of known lengths, and capital A is the inclusive angle between them. So in the cosine rule formula, A is the side that is opposite the inclusive angles. That is opposite the inclusive angle. B and C are the two sides of known lengths, and A is the inclusive angle between them. When do we use the cosine rule? Now, the cosine rule is used to find the length of the third side of a non-right angle triangle when given the length of the other two sides and the size of the inclusive angle between them. In other words, if you know two sides and the inclusive angle and you want to find the third side, that is a condition for applying the cosine rule. Again, if you know the length of two sides and the angle between those two sides, and you wish to find the length of the third side, that is a condition for applying the cosine rule. So in the diagram below, x is the unknown. So using the cosine rule formula, a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. That's the cosine rule formula. Now in this formula, a is the inclusive, a is the side opposite the inclusive angle. So here, b and c, these are the sides of known lengths. A is the angle between them. Now, the angle between two sides, this is the inclusive angle. That angle is included between B and C, it is the inclusive angle. So the condition here is that I'm given the length of two sides, B and C, and the included angle between them, A, and I wish to find the length of the third side, X. That is a condition for applying the cosine rule. The cosine rule formula is a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. In that formula, A is the side opposite the inclusive angle. In my diagram, the side opposite the inclusive angle is x, so this is x squared. B and C are the two sides of known lengths, so this is b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine the inclusive angle, which is A. Ladies, gentlemen, the cosine rule is used to find the length of the third side of a non-right angle triangle when you are given the length of two sides and the inclusive angle. When else do we use the cosine rule? The cosine rule is used when the length of all three sides are given. When you are given the length of all three sides to find the size of that should just be an AN, to find the size of an interior angle. So if you are given the length of all three sides of a non-right angle triangle, and you want to find an angle That is a condition for applying the cosine rule. All right, there are some schools that actually give this to students as a formula. I think that's ridiculous. I wouldn't do that to you. All right, so in this case, the angle that you want to find is the inclusive angle. The angle that you want to find is the inclusive angle. All right, let's show this thing to you in action. Guys, example 3. In example 3, in the triangle below, we're to find the length of the side x. First of all, let's look at our triangle. The first thing is this. This is a non-right angle triangle. It looks like an acute angle triangle. All the angles measure less than 90 degrees. So this is a non-right angle triangle. I know the length of two sides. The length of this side here is 6. The length of this side is 8. So I know the length of two sides and I know the angle between them. The angle between them is 65 degrees. And I wish to find the length of the third side. Ladies, gentlemen, if you're given the length of two sides of a non-right angle triangle and the inclusive angle, and you want to find the length of the third side, that is a condition for applying the cosine rule. The cosine rule says a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. Now, in the cosine rule formula, A is the side opposite the inclusive angle. The inclusive angle is 65 degrees, and the side opposite the inclusive angle is x. So in this formula, A is x. So x squared. Now, B and C are the two sides of known lengths. So this would be what? 6 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 6 times 8 times the cosine of the inclusive angle, which is 65 degrees. Now, if you want to know, at this point, you could just put everything in your calculator and press equal. But no, let's continue. 6 squared, this is what, 36? 8 squared is 64. 2 times 8, 2 times 12 times 8, I think that's what, 96? Let's double check. 2 times 6 times 8, 96. And this is cosine 65 degrees. So this is 100 minus 96 cosine . All right, cosine 65 degrees. So now this is what x squared is equal to. So if I want, I could just say the square root of all of this and put this in my calculator. 100 minus 96 cosine 65 degrees. The only thing I would say to you is that when you're putting that in your calculator, sorry, that's what x would be equal to. When you're putting that in your calculator, ensure you put it in bracket. So when you put it in the calculator, you must put brackets, or else you're not going to get the correct answer. The alternative is to work it out and then find the square root. All right, so I'm going to have square root, open bracket, 100 Now, real intelligent calculators, when you type square root, it will give you an open bracket automatically. Minus 96 cosine 65, close bracket, press equal. And what I got is that x is equal to 7.71 centimeters. That is what I got. Now, as I said, if you wanted to, you could have worked it out, meaning that you could have done this. You could have said x squared is equal to, and just put this in a calculator, 100 minus 96, the cosine of 65, close bracket, press equal. This is 59.43. Now the opposite of square is square root, so x is equal to the square root of 59.43. So square root 59.43, and then just press equal, same answer, 7.71 centimeters. So here, I'm using the cosine rule to find the third side of A. So I know two sides and the inclusive angle, and I'm finding the third side. This is a condition for applying the cosine rule. All right, so let's have a go at example 4. In example 4, in the triangle below, the lengths of all three sides are known. Determine the size of angle x. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you know all three sides of a non-right angle triangle, if you know the length of all three sides of a non-right angle triangle, and you want to find an angle, that is a condition for applying the cosine rule. So I'm gonna have a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. Now this is like the cosine rule formula. In this formula, A is the side opposite the inclusive angle. Now, in a situation like this, the inclusive angle is the angle that you want to find. And the side opposite the inclusive angle is 11. So A, common A is 11. So this is 11 square. Now, B and C would be the other two sides, which is what, the 9 and the 7. So this is 7 square plus 9 square minus 2 times 7 times 9, the cosine of big A. Now, big A is the inclusive angle, and that is the angle that you want to find in this case, which is x. So all I need to do now is to solve this little equation. All right, so 11 square this is 121 is equal to 49 plus 81 minus 2 times 7 times 9, which is 126, the cosine of x. Now, all right, so let's just go down piece by piece, bit by bit. So this is 49 plus 81. This is 130. minus 126, the cosine of x. Next, I'm going to carry the 126 cosine x to the left to make it positive. 126 cosine x is equal to 130 minus 121. Remember, what I want to find is x. So what I'm doing here is getting everything with x in it on one side and everything that don't have x in it on the other side. All right, so next I have 126 cosine x is equal to, what is this, 9? Is equal to 9. Then remember, I need to get cosine by itself. I'm going to divide both sides by 126. So what I have is that the cosine of x is equal to 9 over 126. Ladies, gentlemen, if I know the cosine of an angle and I wish to find the angle, I must use cosine inverse. Therefore, x would be equal to cosine inverse 9 over 126. When you put this in the calculator, you must include brackets. More advanced, more intelligent calculator, once you put cosine inverse, it will automatically put an open bracket for you. So shift, then, shift cosine inverse 9 divide by 126, close bracket, press equal. This is telling me that x is 86 degrees. X is 86 degrees. All right, so let's look what's coming next. All right, so here is a question. Example 5 says, in the triangle below, the lengths of two of the sides are 9 and 11. The angle between the two known sides is 59 degrees. Use calculation to determine the length of the side x. All right, so let's have a look at this question. All right, so in this example, we need to find x. And please note, you don't have this yet. This is not something that you have. So you don't have that. What you have are two sides and the angle between them. Now, the angle between the two sides is called the inclusive angle, and you wish to find the third side. If you're given two sides of a non-right angle triangle and an inclusive angle, and you wish to find the length of the third side, that is a condition for applying the cosine rule, which says a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc cosine a. That's the formula. In the formula, a, common a is the inclusive angle, is the side opposite the inclusive angle. So common a is x. So this is x square. B and c are the other two sides. 9 square plus 11 square minus 2 times 9 times 11, the cosine of the inclusive angle, which is 59 degrees. This is 81 plus 121 minus 2 times 9 times 11, which is 198. The cosine of 59 degrees. So next we have 81 plus 121 minus 198. The cosine of 59 degrees. Let's put this in the calculator and see what we get. So 202 minus 198, the cosine of 59, and this is 100.002. The opposite of square is square root, so x is the square root of 100.002. All right, everybody can see that that is approximately 10. All right, so x is equal to 10 centimeters. So here x is 10. So the next thing we're asked to find is, we're going to be asked to find theta. All right, so we actually put the calculation in the wrong place. Next, we're asked to find the size of angle theta. Now, guys, this is what I just told you. Are you guys hearing me? All right, so what I told you last is this. After you use cosine rule on a triangle, the next rule you must use is going to be the sine rule. So I want to find the angle theta. So it's going to be the sine of the angle theta. Sine rule, sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. That's sine rule. So the sine of the angle I want to find is the sine of theta over the side that is opposite to theta is 9. So it's sine theta over 9 is equal to sine the angle I know, which is 59, and the side opposite to that angle is 10. I'm going to do my half cross multiply to get my 9 up here. So now I have sine theta is equal to 9 sine 59 over 10. I'm going to get sine theta is equal to 9 sine 59 divide by 10. And to 3 decimal place, I have 0.771. Theta is therefore sine inverse 0.771. Theta is okay, going again. close bracket. And what I have here is 50.4 degrees. What I have for theta is 50.4 degrees. All right, here's another question. Example 6 says the quadrilateral below not drawn to scale is so this says the quadrilateral below not drawn to scale is one flower bed, so that should be flower bed in a massive garden. The length of 3 of the sides are 7, 8, and 9 meters. We are to determine the length of the diagonal x. All right, and after that, we're to determine the size of the angle theta. All right, so to find the diagonal x, I'm going to use the triangle on the right. Now, in the triangle on the right, I know the length of 2 sides and the angle between them, which is called the inclusive angle. And I'm going to use that knowledge now to find the third side, which is x. So this is a condition for applying the cosine rule. So I start out by writing the cosine rule formula, which is a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. In this formula, little a is the side in that is opposite the inclusive angle. So little a is x, so x squared is equal to 8 squared plus 9 squared minus 2 times 8 times 9, the cosine of the inclusive angle, which is 80 degrees. All right, you don't see I'm doing it again. I put in the calculation in the wrong place, but it doesn't matter. So this is 64 plus 81 minus 144, the cosine of 80 degrees. All right, this looks like 145 minus 144 cosine 80 degrees. All right. So let's work this out to find what x squared is equal to. So this is 145 minus 144, the cosine of 80 degrees. And this is 119.99. The opposite of square is square root. One 119.99. All right, and this is 10.95. So I could say that this is approximately 11. X is 11 meters. All right, because if you round up 10.95 to 3 significant figure is 11.0. So X is 11 meters. Next, we need to find theta. find theta, I know two sides. I know that x is 11, that bottom side is 7, and I know the angle is what? 67. And 67 there is a non-inclusive angle. So two sides and a non-inclusive angle is a condition for applying the sine rule. So I'm going to have sine A over A is equal to sine B over B. So this is sine the angle theta. The side in front of the angle is 7, is equal to the sine of 67, and the side in front of that is the 11. So I'm going to bring this across. I'm going to have now sine theta is equal to 7 sine 67 over 11. Put that in my calculator. And I need 3 decimal places. So it's 7 sine 67 divide by 11. So to 3 decimal places, this is 0.586 to 3 decimal places. If I know the sine of an angle, to find the angle, I must use sine inverse. So theta is sine inverse 0.586. Theta is to 3 significant figure, this is 35.9 degrees. The 3 significant figure, theta is 35.9 degrees.